What's up, world? This your guy, Guitar King, and today we're going to be talking about living life on life's terms. Not yours, not mine's, not hers, his, life terms. Look, man, we got to learn to deal with what life throws at us. Look, man, anything that can and will happen in life, it might happen to you. It might happen to me. So we got to be prepared for it. Look, man, we got to be like MacGyver. You know how MacGyver used to come up with a plan on the fly? He just used whatever he had around him to come up with a plan. That's how we got to be today, man. We got to learn to use the hand that we dealt and play it to the best of our ability. So many times in life, it's not the event that takes us out. It's the fact that we're not prepared, man. Look, you never know the weather. Have an umbrella. You never know when you're going to have a flat tire. So you best have a jack. You best have a spare tire. Like I said, man, it's not the events that take us out. It's the fact that we're not prepared. And like I said, anything that might happen in life, that anything you ever seen happen to anybody else, it just may happen to you. So we got to be prepared, man. Everybody knows that when I do my runs and my jogs and, I be out there talking my smack, I call myself the Black Forrest Gump. That's because that's one of my favorite movies. And one of my favorite lines in the movie, and I'm pretty sure it's just about everybody's favorite line, is when his mother said, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get." That is so true, man. Like I said, we never know what we're going to open up out that box of life and what we're going to pull out that day. But you better be ready for whatever it might be. I wrote a song called Fortune Cookies, and I was inspired by Forrest Gump. I said that you never know what you're going to get. Life is like a box of fortune cookies. You might crack that thing open, you might read it, it might be the worst fortune possible. But you know how we are in real life. If you out with some other folks, you get the bad fortune. Somebody else get a good fortune. You want to switch with them. You're like, nah, I don't want to have the bad one. Let me get the good one. Crazy thing is, in real life, we can't do that, man. We got to learn to deal with our fortune, even if it's a bad one. But look, in the song, like I said, if you keep cracking open enough of them, eventually you're going to get that good fortune, man. We just got to learn to stand firm, go through the bad times to get through the good times. We got to learn to live life on life's terms. Look, man, back when I was in elementary school, every year in Black History Month, somebody would read this poem by Mr. Langston Hughes. It came out all the way back in 1922, y'all. Look, some art is just timeless, man. I felt this poem every year when somebody read it, and I still feel it today. It's called Mother to Son by a Mr. Langston Hughes, all the way back in 1922. This 2025, so that's what, 103 years ago. Check this out, man. Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. Well, son, I tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It had tacks in it and splinters and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, I've been a climbing, and reaching, turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark, where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't turn your back. Don't you sit down on them steps, 'cause you finds it kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I still going, honey, and I still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. His mother was trying to tell him, man, the same thing that Forrest Gump mother was trying to tell him. You just never know what you're going to get in life. And it ain't always going to be easy. But you got to keep climbing, man. Look. My homeboy Yelly and me, we used to love to watch Tom and Jerry, right? And one of our favorite episodes was the one with Uncle Pecos. Now, I like to play guitar. And Uncle Pecos, he would come over to see Jerry, and he would come over there just strumming his guitar. And the funny song that he was singing was whoa, Froggy went to Gordon and he did ride Crambo. Me and Yelly would die laughing when this dude would play this song. But he played the guitar so hard, every time he played, he would break a string. That's just how it is in life. We will break a string or two, man. But Pecos didn't let that get him down. Now, Tom was a big old cat, way bigger than Pecos, the little mouse. But he knew he needed to get that string because he knew that he loved to play that guitar and he had to keep playing. So what he would do, he would go up to Tom and he would snatch a whisker out his face and string his guitar right back up and get right back to playing Frogman Corn and he did ride Crambo. Look, man, that's what we got to do in life, man. You got to keep the music going. If you break a string, even if it's a big old cat, you got to go ahead and snatch that whisker off. You got to do whatever you need to do. Like I said, you got to be like MacGyver, man. You got to keep it going. You got to be prepared that you might break a string or two in life, and you got to keep it going. It's like I said, anything that might happen in life will happen. And so many times we be expecting for stuff to go our way. We be expecting for stuff to be so easy. We be expecting for people to do things that we do. Look, I remember a long time ago, I was in anger management, right? Because I used to be such an angry, bitter, mad person, especially after my grandmother passed away. So I had this counselor, and this is the example that he gave me. He said, let's just imagine one day you running late for work. And you're running through the lobby, and there's a gentleman that's got the elevator, and he looked right in your face, and he let the elevator door close and don't hold it for you and make you late for work. How would you feel? I said, man, I'd be mad as shit. I said, when I see him, I'm going to cuss him out. I'm going to want to fight him and some more. He said, man, look, who the hell do you think you is? Don't nobody got to hold no elevator for you. You ain't to hold the elevator for a guy. He said, in life, you can't be expecting people to do things. He said, if you need to get to work on time, maybe you need to be leaving out earlier. And you can't expect your job to be hinging upon somebody to hold the elevator for you. Hence, like I said, you need to do what you need to do. He said the reason that you will be mad is probably because you're the type of person that will hold the elevator for somebody. I said, yeah, if I see somebody running for the elevator, I would hold it for them, whether I knew them or not. It doesn't matter. He said, that's the thing. You can't expect everybody in life to do the same things that you would do. Life don't work that way. Life ain't no crystal stair. Like Langston Hughes said, it's going to have some tax in it. There's going to be some times in the dark, but you got to keep climbing. He said, no more than likely what you're going to do, you're going to cuss the guy out. You're going to risk your job. You're going to risk going to jail. You're going to risk yada, yada, yada. Life don't work like that, man. We have to do what we need to do to make things better for ourselves. We can't be expecting what other people do to make our lives easier, man. Look, man. Life is it's tricky. And I know sometimes it seems hard, it seems dark, it seems unfair. That's because it's not fair. Like I said, anything that can and will happen is suspect to happen in life. But what we need to do is do to the best of our ability, search out how to find peace, search out how to find joy. You know, and I found that the spiritual principles in life, when we practice patience, when we practice kindness, I know it's hard when other people ain't doing it, but that's the problem. Like I said, we can't live our life expecting upon what everybody else is doing. When you do that, you're never going to have peace. You're never going to have joy. You're never going to have patience, because at the end of the day, we can't control what other people do. We can control our lives, but we can't control other people's lives. So when you're practicing these things in your life, I'm telling you, life just turns out to be a lot more easier, a lot more smoother. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be fair, but we can make it better to the best of our ability. Life never gets any better. It's been that same way. Like I said, that poem was wrote over 103 years ago. And life ain't got no better since then. It's just that we can learn to deal with life better. We can learn to deal with life on life's terms. Instead of expecting for life to bend to our terms, which it's never going to do, never in 103 years ago or 103 years from now, the terms of life is still going to be the same. I heard a young gentleman share at a meeting that I went to, and I'm telling you, that thing stuck with me. See if it might stick with you. Life is going to always keep lifing. And people are going to always keep peopling.
What?
I don't even know if those is words but I'm telling you, that thing makes sense, man. Life is going to keep lifing and people is going to keep peopling. But what we need to do is learn how to navigate that to the best of our ability. And trying to control the life and trying to control the people, that ain't going to work. What can I do so that I can deal with it better? And like I said, man, practicing these spiritual principles, practicing love, no matter who's showing love, no matter who's not showing love, I can practice showing love. I can practice giving out love, practicing patience, practicing kindness, practicing gentleness, no matter what. Once I get firm in practicing these principles, I live by these things. And I'm telling you, once you get through the dark, Like his mother said, once you keep climbing, once you get to there, I'm telling you, man, the air is so much better up here. You get a much better perspective of what's going on from up here, man. I'm telling you, be grateful. Practice gratitude daily, man. Not just, in the hard times. That's another thing. We go to God in prayer when we only asking for things, when it's only the times it's hard. That's never going to work. This has to be an everyday ritual. We practice gratitude every day. We pray every day. That way, when the times do get hard, you're already practiced up. You're already there. You're already where you need to be. You can't just try to be a warrior when the fight's coming to you. You got to practice to be a warrior every day. That way, when it's time to fight, you already know the combinations you need to throw. You already got your defense set. You already know how to fight. You can't just try to become a fighter when the war is imminently in your face. You got to train and practice every day. We have to learn to live life on life terms. And like I said, this is a daily thing. You will never be perfect at it. It's always going to be something happening. We're always going to be either in the middle of a storm, heading into a storm, or coming out of it. But I'm telling you, when you learn to prepare yourself, when you understand that life is going to always, like they say, man, it's always something. Couldn't be a more truer statement ever. It's always going to be something. But like I said, we can learn to live life on life terms if we change our perspective, if we change the way that we look at it, if we change how we deal with it. Like I said, man, life is never going to change what it's doing. Life ain't going to stop lifing. People are going to not stop peopling, but we can change our perspective. We can get better with how we deal with people. We can get better with how we deal with life. Learn to live life on life terms. Not yours. I'm telling you, once you learn to go with the grain, you're going to stop getting them splinters in your ass. Ow! Or you can keep going against the grain and keep getting what you've been getting. It's up to you. This is your guy, Guitar K. Be more